Imagine a situation. You enter a completely unfamiliar place. Perhaps it's an ancient temple in another country, or just a new restaurant in your city. But something inside you suddenly stops. A strange feeling of déjà vu overwhelms you. Or how about this? You meet someone for the first time in your life. Your eyes meet, and goosebumps run down your spine, as if you've known each other. Always. These moments are easy to explain as coincidence, a game of the mind. But what if it's not just chance? What if this is an echo of a life you lived before? Welcome to a world where your soul may be much older than your body. Today we'll explore 10 signs that you may have lived before. Ready to look beyond the veil of time? Then watch carefully for each sign. You may recognize yourself in them more than you expect. Sign 1. Unexplained skills you never learned. Remember the moment when you first picked up a musical instrument. Most people produce awkward sounds, go through months or years of practice. But some seem to remember, not learn. Maybe for you it wasn't music, but something else. Perhaps you picked up a brush and paints for the first time and felt like you were returning to something familiar, or sat at a chessboard and intuitively understood strategy. Psychologists call this innate talent or genetic predisposition. But proponents of reincarnation theory offer a deeper explanation. Our soul retains knowledge and skills from past lives. That's why some child prodigies play Mozart at age 5 without formal training, or why you might feel strange confidence in something you've never done before. Think about what comes easily to you, a skill that seems just natural. Perhaps you're not just talented. Perhaps you've already done this in another life. Sign 2. Fear without reason. Dark water, fire, heights, confined spaces. We all have fears. But do you have a phobia that appeared just like that? Without traumatic experience, without obvious reason? Imagine, you've never drowned, but you're panically afraid of deep water. You've never been in a fire, but the sight of flames causes you inexplicable terror. You get dizzy at heights, although you've never fallen. Modern psychology explains this as evolutionary fears or inherited phobias. But what if this emotional memory is a trace of tragic experience from a past life? If in a past life you drowned in the ocean, burned in fire, or died from a fall, that trauma could have left an imprint on your soul. That's why such fears often defy logic. That's why therapy doesn't always help, because this fear wasn't born in this life. Sign 3. The dream that returns. Have you ever woken up with the feeling that you were just somewhere else? In a place that seems both strange and familiar? Recurring dreams are a special phenomenon, not abstract images, but specific scenes that unfold with striking clarity. You see people you've never met in real life. You visit places you've never been. But the strangest thing is the feeling that you've returned home, or to something important that you forgot. Dream specialists say our brain processes daily impressions, but followers of past lives theory offer a deeper explanation. During sleep, the barriers between lives become thinner. What you consider a dream may be a memory. Start recording these recurring dreams. Note the details: clothing, architecture, language spoken by people. Especially if these dreams take place in another historical era. Over time, patterns may emerge, and possibly a story, your story, that your conscious self has long forgotten. Sign 4. Instant connection or rejection with strangers. Have you ever met someone and immediately felt that you know them? Not just sympathy, but a deep, inexplicable connection. Or conversely, you meet someone and without any reason feel discomfort, a desire to stay away? We're used to explaining such feelings as chemistry or intuition, but what if it's something much more ancient? What if it's recognition at the soul level? Many spiritual traditions say that we reincarnate in groups. Souls travel together, taking different roles in different lives. The person with whom you experience instant closeness could have been your parent, child, brother, or sister in a past life, a loved one, or even a sworn enemy, because strong feelings leave a deep mark. The next time you feel an inexplicable connection with a stranger, consider perhaps you've met before, in another time, in other bodies, but with the same souls. Sign 5. Déjà vu that strikes strongly. This has happened to each of us. You enter a room, say a phrase, or perform a simple action, and suddenly freeze. This strange feeling that you've been here before, done this, said these very words. Déjà vu. Scientists explain this as a glitch in brain function, when short-term memory is mistakenly taken for long-term memory. A simple neuronal error. But what if sometimes, just sometimes, it's not an error? What if in these moments your soul really recognizes what it has seen before? In another life, in another time? Especially strong déjà vu is accompanied not just by recognition, but by deep emotions. You may feel excitement, fear, or even tears, without obvious reason. Pay attention to details that trigger the strongest feeling of déjà vu. It could be a certain smell, sound, image, or even light at a certain time of day. Perhaps it's not just a strange sensation. It could be a moment when two times, past and present, momentarily touch in your consciousness. Sign 6. Physical clues on your body. Our body keeps the history of our life. Scars from childhood falls, stretch marks, laugh lines. But some marks appear without explanation. Have you ever wondered why you were born with a birthmark in this particular place? Or why you have chronic pain that doctors can't explain? Modern medicine explains birthmarks as clusters of pigment cells, and unexplained pain is often attributed to psychosomatics. But in some spiritual traditions, these physical features are viewed as imprints from past lives. A birthmark on the chest may mark the location of a fatal wound in a past life. Unexplained back pain may be an echo of trauma received centuries ago. Reincarnation researcher Ian Stevenson documented hundreds of cases where children had birthmarks corresponding to fatal wounds of people they were presumed to have been in past lives. Look at your body in a new way. Those marks you considered random may be pages of your longer history. Sign 7. Deep connection with a specific era or culture. Most of us have interests and hobbies, but do you have an unexplainable attraction to a certain culture or historical period? This is not just curiosity or hobby. It's a feeling of deep, almost painful nostalgia, as if you miss a home you've never been to. Perhaps you feel comfortable among ancient Greek art, or a Celtic harp melody brings tears to your eyes. Perhaps you intuitively understand customs of a culture you have no family connection to. This strange attachment is difficult to explain by genetic memory or cultural influence, especially when you feel strong connection to a civilization that disappeared thousands of years ago. Some people even discover they easily pick up a language they've never studied or recognize places they've never visited. If some era or culture evokes an unexplainable resonance in you, it may not be coincidental. Perhaps part of you remembers living there, breathing that air, walking those streets. Perhaps your soul recognizes what your mind has long forgotten. Sign 8. Feeling that you don't belong in this world. Have you ever woken up feeling this is not your time, not your world? Many people occasionally feel out of place, but this is about something deeper. a constant feeling that you've somehow ended up in the wrong place, in the wrong time. You're tired by the noise and bustle of the modern world. Technology seems alien. You feel strange nostalgia for a simpler, slower way of life, which you never experienced in this life. Psychologists call this existential alienation. But in the context of reincarnation, it could be a sign that your soul remembers another time, another way of life. This sensation of soul displacement, deep longing for something that feels more home-like than anything you know in this life. Some believe this is precisely why certain souls are drawn to spiritual practices, meditation, nature, seeking connection with something timeless, with something that goes beyond this particular life. Perhaps your feeling of not belonging is not a defect. It's a memory of another place, another time, another version of you. Sign 9. Knowing things you shouldn't know. Have you ever had a feeling that you just know something without understanding from where? This can manifest in different ways. You might finish other people's sentences before they're spoken, predict events before they happen, intuitively understand complex concepts without training. This intuition goes beyond ordinary sixth sense. It's deep, inexplicable knowledge that appears as if from nowhere. Skeptics will call this coincidence or subconscious analysis. But there's another explanation. Wisdom accumulated through multiple lives. A soul that has lived long enough to recognize patterns, foresee results, sense truth without need for facts or evidence. This inner knowledge often manifests in moments of crisis or important decisions. As if an ancient advisor inside you shares wisdom forged through many lives. Next time you feel you know something without logical explanation, perhaps it's worth listening. It might not be a guess, but a memory. Sign 10. Choosing life without children. In most cultures, reproduction is considered a natural part of life's journey, even a kind of duty. But what if your soul chose a different path? What if the absence of desire to have children, or the decision to have only one child, is not an accident, but a profound choice of your soul? In the context of reincarnation, this may be a sign that your soul has already repeatedly gone through the path of parenthood. Perhaps you were a mother or father dozens of times in past lives. Some souls, especially old ones, eventually shift focus inward, from creating family to creating awareness. You may be more attracted to solitude, creativity, healing, or helping others in quiet, unobtrusive ways. You may feel your mission is not to raise children, but to raise the level of consciousness. This doesn't mean you're lacking something or missing out. It may mean your soul is exactly where it needs to be, in a life chosen not for reproduction, but for liberation. These signs by themselves don't prove reincarnation. Science offers rational explanations for each of them, but together they may be clues, breadcrumbs left on the path your soul has traveled through time. If you've ever had a dream or moment that made you question everything you know about yourself, share it below. Know this, you are not alone in your experiences. Watch the next video on your screen to dive even deeper into the hidden history of your soul. And remember, some truths are not just remembered, they are remembered again and again.